Vectorworks software was the first BIM authoring tool to provide Revit import using the TIGA BIM library from the Open Design Alliance. And this year, we're going one step further by providing you next-level functionality with Revit file imports that translate Revit objects into native Vectorworks symbols and objects with textures, making incorporation of design information from Revit easier and more efficient than in other applications. You now have even more collaboration options when importing a Revit file. In Vectorworks 2018, you can now import Revit building objects such as doors, windows, roofs, and walls as native Vectorworks objects, as well as import Revit textures as native RenderWorks textures. You can now control how a Revit file is imported. To start, go to File, Import, Import Revit File, or simply drag and drop the Revit project file or Revit family file into an open document in Vectorworks. In the Revit Import Options dialog, you have several import options. First, you can choose the views you wish to import. Active View Only will import Revit information from the current active view in the Revit file. This can be 3D model views or 2D drawings views. Or you can choose to import the entire 3D model using the 3D Model View option. If the Revit file has a 3D model, it will be imported into the Vectorworks file. Design layers for each of the 3D views will be created. Finally, you can choose to import 2D and 3D views. This will bring in the 3D model views on design layers and create sheet layers with the 2D views. In addition to choosing your desired views, you can also control the type of geometry that's imported. With Create Vectorworks Native Objects enabled, Revit doors, windows, walls, and roofs will be converted to native Vectorworks doors, windows, walls, and roofs. Vectorworks walls will be generated with any corresponding wall components. Doors and windows will be inserted directly into walls. For other objects, you can choose whether to import them as mesh objects, 3D polygons, or convert them to generic solids. You also have the option to import textures and texture mapping from the Revit file, giving you the ability to preserve the 3D look of the Revit model and render the model in Vectorworks using RenderWorks. With these new options, you can now expand your BIM workflow and work more closely with colleagues that are using Revit.